Hi, this is Marsha. Because we don't have access to the presentation, I'm going to send you video notes on the different things that we spoke about this week because it's a lot and it is in presentation format. So I'm going to talk about self-publishing basics, and the point really is to get you to do some of these stuff yourself. Um, this is my information here. So let's move on to the second slide. We spoke about the pros and cons of self-publishing. The pros, to recap, there's no issue with the rights of your work. The rights is yours. Since you are the publisher, the creative oversight and control is also yours. So you don't have to change things that are really important to you in the book, just because. And you could put a book out there that you really want to see in the market that isn't really in the market. You get to write how much or how little you want. So this is really, sometimes you could write 2 or 3 books in a year and you get to publish it as well. So you don't have to, most of the time in traditional publishing, you publish 1 book a year and sometimes 1 book every 2 years because they have so many authors on rotation. They're not publishing your stuff every 6 months. So you could publish more when you start publishing. You have control of your royalty and profits. You don't have to give the publisher a cut and your agent a cut and your editor a cut, which is usually when you publish a book, which is a lifetime cut of your royalties, and the profits are yours. You get to make decisions quickly about your book, reselling and changes, like if you want to change the cover design, if you want to translate it into another language, if you want to put a different cover design for another translation. So there are certain things about your book that you don't really have to ask anybody's permission to do. And it's a new era and self-publishing is respected and you can make money out of it. The cons of publishing is that you take all the risks. And when I say risks, I mean the money risk. You have to pay for everything. So this is where you have to get smart and you have to really look at what you're spending stuff on and you have to teach yourself new skills so that you're not spending too much initially because the cost is high and you must pay for every step. So you have to find a way. If you have you or a team, sometimes you have your children would more than be able to go through Canva for you and make a cover. So you have to pull your resources, barter for skills, and just be very strategic about it. You have now become an entrepreneur, and the road to profit is a long road. So you have to stay the course. Distribution is limited to your efforts, and marketing is also limited to your efforts. And these two things are something that you have to keep on doing on and on, over and over. So it's not like you have an entire department that distributes on your behalf or markets on your behalf. This is definitely up to you. So the next slide, we have the self-publishing activities. The item in red, item in pink, item in green. Well, it usually starts at pink. And this is where most writers spend most of their time instead of just 25%, which is preparing your manuscript. This part actually takes years. The cost of editing it, revising it, and just getting it to that point that it could be published. But that is really 25% of your work. The next 20% is publishing, the cost of design and formatting, print, upload ready files, and your printing. This red part is the most expensive part of it. And this is the part where you have to learn to do some of these things yourself. You have to get some free resources, get some free apps, and you have to learn to do a lot of things yourself. It is always good to get a professional to do these things for you, but it's also better if you're doing a lot of self-publishing in the long run is to become a professional. So I'm not saying that you should remain as a novice and do like a halfway cover, book cover. I'm saying that you learn to do a professional book cover because that's a skill that you will be using in the future. Learn to format your document because that's a skill you will be using in the future. Then we go to the blue part, which is promoting the cost of distribution, selling, advertising. This also costs but it's also the biggest chunk, and this area keeps being on repeat. So anytime you fall along in this area and you're not marketing and you're not pushing and you're not distribution, your sales fall and you feel it. So you have to keep on doing this. This might also be a part that you might want to outsource if you can. So just to make sure that your books are being pushed by somebody. This 10%, which is really the first thing you should be doing while you're writing your manuscript, is like reserving your ISBN, paying any taxes you need to pay, make sure there's no legal issues, like if you're doing a biography, get the person's permission, stuff like that. So any legal issues, um, and this would usually be a one-off thing that you don't have to go back to. So we're looking now at pre-publishing. We're looking at completing your manuscript. So without a manuscript, you don't have a product. And if you're doing like a children's book or middle grade novel, your illustrations are part of your manuscript. So you can't say you finish your manuscript if you don't have the illustrations. You have to reach the point that it's just ready to give to somebody to format, to reach the next step. We spoke already about editing. Make sure your book is ready to be published. It's very important. This part is very important. If you have to pay for anything, pay for your editing, please. You can barter, pay for it, find a friend with a skill, but make sure someone else with a really good eye looks at your book and reads it through. Because once you hit publish, and you have a lot of typos, then you're going to start getting bad reviews, and you really wouldn't want that. For pre-publishing as well, in addition to your book, you need to have a biography and you need to have the book details, because this is needed for the cover of the book, and sometimes at the back of the book you'd like to put up about the author, which will be your biography. So you need to get 500 words in both of them, and a 100 or 150 words, because sometimes you need just a little excerpt and sometimes you need something more. So don't wait until you're trying to upload the book to Amazon and they ask you for your book details, then to start writing the book details. Make sure and put this as something that you're going to do. So we also spoke about your ISBN. This is how you copyright your book, and you can get an ISBN locally at NALIS. This is the email address, sunellewisarchibald@nalis.gov.tt. And it's really something that you could email her, ask her for the information, and she'll send you everything. And this number goes in the barcode at the back of your book, and it tracks your book for life. So you would want to own this number. You wouldn't want to have multiple numbers of the book out, because it means that you're not tracking your sales properly. And if it is the book is selling, like it's best selling, it might only be best selling on one platform, might only be best selling on another platform, because you have two different numbers. So you need to have one number for this. And the free versus paid, a lot of platforms will ask you if you want a free ISBN that they would have bought for themselves and they put on your book, and that kind of gives them, it doesn't give them copyright of your book, but it gives them ownership to sell your book on their platform. And if you have to go on another platform, you'll have to get another number. So I would suggest you get your own ISBN. This doesn't take very long, and you do it while you're working out your manuscript. And then when you finish your book, then yes, when you can order the ISBN and they'll keep it for you there. And then when you finish the book, they will assign you the ISBN. So it's usually about 20 US to register and 50 US to get 10 ISBNs. It's usually 30 US to get one ISBN, so don't buy one, because a book needs, for each version of the book, you need a different ISBN. So you need one for ebook, you need one for paperback, and you need one for hardcover. So buying one ISBN for book is gonna take you out of pocket. So buy the 10 and keep the rest for the next book that you're going to be working on. Your barcode is simple. You need the barcode for the back of the book if you're using in KDP, they generate the barcode for you. If not, you could ask the printer or the artist who's doing your book to do it for you, or you could generate a barcode online. You just have to search for it. The copyrights, you need always have a copyright statement. This is the example. I would have given you it in the handout. And your ISBN needs to be on this page. Any sort of disclaimer, you'll need to also put published by, which will be your name and address, name of the book, the author. So this is a standard page, and you could put additional stuff here. You could put like if you have an editor you want to mention, an illustrator, you could put all of those things there. Where to publish, you can publish locally. Get a printer and send you them the documents, and they'll help you out a lot. So you can open a KDP account. So this is it, kdpamazon.com. So it's self-publishing online. On this account, you can upload your ebook, and you can also print paperback and hardcover. Certain books you will be able to print hardcover. You have to, if you'd like to enroll in KDP Select, that's something else. We will deal with that on the marketing day. So you log in. Even if you're not interested in printing on Amazon, I suggest you open an account and just look through it, because they have so much resources to publish. So they have information from other authors, they have an entire KDP University, and they have a lot of tutorials of how to do this and how to do that. They also have, if you don't have a cover, they have like a console where you can design a cover. They also give you information on getting the inside of your book done, the specs if you need to get specific margins. They give you all the information you need. There's also a cover calculator which you could put in how much pages the book is, and it will give you the measurement of the spine. So they, even though you're not publishing on Amazon, as an author, it's good to log into here and just read up a lot of the information on how to publish a book, and you will see it would really help. Well, this is what the dashboard looks like. There's the bookshelf, which is all your books, and your reports, community, and this is like marketing. So we'll go through this dashboard the second to last day in that. I think I'll also make a video for this and send it for you maybe before, so that if you have questions, we could speak about it on that day. So your book needs 2 files. If you're printing, it needs an interior, and these are the popular standards on Amazon: 5x8, 6x9, 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 8.5. These are the sizes that you should work with. Most popular and more standard. You see these 2 areas, you just stick in those 2 areas. The other areas will be more expensive. So when you're doing the interior of the book, this is something that you can do for yourself. Once the edges of your book is white and there's no color coming to the edges of any of your book, then this is something that you can just do in Word. You could look on YouTube for a tutorial that says how to set up a document in Word. You just change the size of the document and you put everything in there. Like, I format books, and if you hire me, I start at $1,000 to format a book, and I will give you the size and I'll give you everything that you need. But if it is you have a black and white book, no pictures at all, the only picture you might have in there is your picture, and really all you're doing is formatting text. This is something that you should teach yourself to do it in Word, and you're going to save that cost. So you need the number of pages to find out the spine, which is for the cover. So you can do the inside of the book yourself, and if you're not too sure, you can get somebody to do the cover for you. So then the cost, you don't have to pay the full cost. And you have to also always remember that your pages are divisible by 4, because printing is done in blocks of 4. So if you need to put in extra pages, put in extra pages. So your cover design has to look like this, a double page. So once you're going to print, the back and the front has to be one document, one PDF. So you're not giving them the back page and the front page, you have to give them the full flow. Now this cover here that I have of this king and queen. I got this picture off of perchance. I think I searched maybe an hour and more, just putting in descriptions of what I want the guy to look like, what I want the lady to look like, what I want the crown to look like, how I want the face to look like. I want them to be facing each other. I want them to have on gold. So, and I kept just going back and adjusting the description on perchance, and then all of a sudden I get this picture. This picture didn't need to be edited. I just pulled the picture off as a free picture, free AI generated picture, and I used it. So this is where you would need the book details and a little bit of information for you, and you could even put your picture in the back there. And if you have a children's book, it's the same thing. You put illustrated by, you get information on the book, information on the author, and you usually a cover design starts at $500, and this is something that you could do in Canva. So sometimes you might be able to do the cover yourself. Try it. Always try first and see what you get, and if you can't do it, then ask somebody else to do it. But when you're self-publishing, you should always try first, and the quality of the pictures you can get in AI today is really exceptional. So you can really get something that looks really professional, and nobody would know the difference. So for your cover design, you can also, as I said before, you could do it through KDP. And there's a lot of royalty-free photos or AI, and make sure and put royalty-free in. You wouldn't want to take a photo online that's not free and use it and then somebody asks you to pay for it. So always put in these words royalty-free photos, and most of your AI photo generators are, or most of them are free, but you just have to keep putting the design in. Canva is also very, very good program that helps you do your cover design as well, and they have a lot of free clip art, pictures, lots of wonderful designs. Canva is the best right now. Perchance.org, this is where I got the picture. I usually use them because they have a lot of casual photos, but you could also get fantasy photos, and I write fantasy, so that's why I usually gravitate here. So if you're doing an ebook, you just need the front cover of the book to upload. So you have to say, and you need to save this as a JPEG, not a PDF. So the other ones you had to save as a PDF to upload, but this one you just save as a JPEG. And for the inside of the ebook, KDP has a Kindle Create app or a Kindle Kid Create app, and that uploads to their platform alone. But it's an app that you download for free. You put your information in it, and then you upload the file to them. You can also upload a PDF file for them. But I find that this Kindle Create goes well, so I usually use it. You could also hire a formatter. It starts at like 250 TT. The same person who's designing your book could do this. So the inside of the ebook is a PDF, unless you're doing Kindle Create, then you take the file that the app gives you. This cover that I did for the ebook was actually a compilation of 4 pictures. So I got the picture of the wolf from AI, the picture of the moon from AI, the moon and the water behind. I got a picture of the guy because I wasn't getting the both of them together. So I described the man, and I got a picture of the man. And I described the woman, and I got a picture of the woman. And I put all 4 pictures together, and I got this cover design. Okay, so Amazon will give you a minimum price and a wholesale price to purchase your books, which is plus shipping. So the minimum price is, for example, if Amazon say your books, you give you a wholesale price of $2.84, then you wouldn't be able to sell this book for less than $4 on Amazon, because Amazon has to make a profit with it. But this is what Amazon pays to print the book and ship the book. So this is what Amazon usually charges. They need to get this back. So they give you this wholesale price, which only you alone can see this price, and only you alone can buy a book at this price. This book that's $2.84 sells on Amazon for $8.99. But you don't get to pay that price. You pay a wholesale price. So this is an advantage of printing on Amazon, that even if you want 1 or 2 or 20 books, they give you it at a wholesale price. Plus shipping, because shipping is a big issue in Trinidad and Tobago, because again, the books here, you have to pay a lot of shipping. But you work it out and you see how much it benefits as to if you would have been printed locally. So the sale of print on demand books, for ebooks, you can only, for the ebooks, you can't put it less than 99 cents and you can't put it more than $9.99. If you're doing a print book, you can put your book up to $250. It doesn't matter if your book printing costs wholesale price is $284. If you want to sell for $100, that's your business. Now, a next option is that you go to a local printer, they give you a cost, and usually if you could buy 50, more than 50 books, you'll get a good deal on it. But it's not like as Amazon, you would buy 2 or 3 books. You'll have to put out enough money to buy maybe between 50 and 100 books for it to make sense. But a local printer, you can use a local printer, estimate your cost, divide by the quantity, and get a price that makes sense. Markups to selling local books in bookstores is 15% in Trinidad and Tobago, which is the law. So if you sell a book to a bookstore for $100, they'll mark it up by 15%. They should mark it up by 15%. So you could calculate how much you want your book to be in the bookstores. So you could calculate on an average how much you sell them for that, for it to be like that. Pre-promotions, yes. You don't wait until the book has been printed and in hand to start to do this. As soon as you begin to prepare a manuscript, you should think about the first steps of promotion, which is announcing your book. Start building an email list through a blog or direct email. Don't abuse this. Only send them information if you have an update to give them about your book, if your book is coming out, if your book is in a different bookstore, if your book has a sale. So make sure that whatever information you send via email is relevant. Use your book cover as a flyer, just maybe add a space to the bottom of the side, but the book cover should be very much used in your flyer. Take a professional portrait of yourself. It lasts for years. Now, when I say professional, I mean with the makeup, with the hair, with everything. And just use that for everything. You don't have to keep changing your portrait every 3 months. Just take the professional photo and use that for years, because you're branding and you want people to start to, when they see that picture, they're looking for books. So you could spy on other books like yours and see what categories and marketing they use. That would help you. And launch your local library, not the public relations department, because they will ask you to pay for rent the room. You could go to the local librarian and they will set up a space in the library itself and they would launch it there. So that helps you save money as well. Now, after you publish your book, you could come to Caribbean Books Foundation. The foundation is a registered nonprofit entity. It's a national cultural organization, and our mandate is to connect the Caribbean community and its diaspora through literature. I'm the founder of this organization. Our site is caribbeanauthors.wordpress.com. We do author interviews. If you're launching your book, tell us you're launching your book so we could spread the word on social media. We do book reviews. We catalog books by country, and we do a lot of different things. All of it is free. We also have Caribbean Folklore Month, which we host, and we have a lot of readings in the library, and we just try to make ourselves available to authors to help them. And we also have consultants who do editing, formatting, and illustrations, and you can find that information on our website. Now, you need a communication plan for your book separately, and I will go in detail with this in the last day, which is marketing. We'll see if we can do a communication plan, and this is just to make sure that you are covering all angles on where you can sell this book. You shouldn't just assume that you're just going to sell in bookstores. You might be best selling on the bookstore and a souvenir shop, because your book is more diaspora related. It might be better in more localized bookstore. You should maybe go to the airport. If it's a baby book, you could be looking at a baby store and selling the book available at the cashier. So there are different things. If you have a book on the environment, you could work with the Environmental Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. If you have a book on Carnival, you could work with people around Carnival time to give the book away as corporate sponsors to give the book as way as gifts. There's so many different things you can do in Trinidad and Tobago just to leverage your book in the Caribbean. So don't just think about leaving the book in the bookstore. You have to think of who else would be interested in this book and how can I get it to them. So promotions locally, sell your books to bookstores, which is usually on consignment. So when they sell a book, which means when they sell a book, you get the money. So that's why I said before, you have to try and minimize your costs going into self-publishing, because you're not going to get that money back in bulk. You're going to take the money out in bulk and spend the money in bulk, but you're going to get that money back trickling back in. So you have to have a plan. If that's okay, fine. But if it's something the money you're depending on it to do other things, you have to consider how you're going to spend that money to self-publish your book and what's the best way to do it. You can sell to friends and family, but that would be saturated in no time. You can sell at craft markets and list festivals every year, and not just in Trinidad and Tobago. You can send your books to the other Caribbean countries, Miami Festival, and there's a few festivals around the world that are based on Caribbean sentiment, diaspora, and you want to get involved in that. So you do press releases to newspapers locally and regionally, radio, TV morning shows, TTT, all over the Caribbean. They're always looking for information, so send your stuff out. Promotion online, your website or blog. Goodreads. Goodreads is where most readers are. So even if you're not really participating or reading books on Goodreads, please open an account and claim your book as yours and verified as an author, so that if other people are looking around, they can find your book on Goodreads. Social medias for writers. Social media is a tool to get your book read and purchased. That's all. You don't have to spend whole day on social media. Just make sure that your first post that you have on you can pin it on your wall, has information on how to get to buy your book and how to contact you if you need to buy a book. So it really is a yellow pages. You think of social media right now, think of it as a yellow pages, where if people are using Facebook all the time and they're looking for a book on mangoes, and you have a book on mangoes, that they will be able to find you on your book. Network free. Come to sessions like these, see how much information you can gather. Use Amazon marketing to market to all continents. This will cost you, but you can do it strategically, and you don't have to spend a lot. You can spend maybe 10 US, 20 US a month, just to keep your book there, and always network each book separately. Internationally, well, I've just said before, use the KDB ads. You can use social media ads, but you have to test these ads. Once you try it out, and if it works, keep on. If it doesn't work, stop. Check out Caribbean and foreign bookstores. Bookshop.org is also a nice place to open a bookshop and set your books there. Do Google ads. Google ads are very good, because Google ads, if somebody is specifically looking for something, for example, I said before, if somebody is specifically looking for a book on mangoes, you're going to type it into Google, and then your book should come up. So sometimes Google ads are more effective than social media. Press releases, again, all over the Caribbean. Anywhere you can get a press release, try and get it. In Canada as well, I think there's a Canadian Caribbean papers. So look for like international Caribbean newspapers or international Caribbean blogs, and reach out to them, and it will be wonderful news. So I have this list of so this book, A Caribbean Self-Publishing Guide, was published last year. It's available on Amazon. I think I maybe have 2 or 3 books available for sale. It's $50 for one. It has all the information I spoke about and more. and it will be done every 2 years. So in the next 2 year, in next year, 2005, I believe, we bring out another edition of this book with more information on it. So it's a book that's completed by Caribbean Books Foundation, and it talks about most of the stuff that we spoke about, and it also gives you lists of Caribbean printers, Caribbean publishers, different newspapers. So it gives you a lot of information inside of it. I should have a guide with me if you want to go through it and see it. Okay, so this week we are going to look at creating a children's book, and we're also going to look at editing. I'm going to have an editor come in and you can ask a person questions. So for the first half of the session, we look at creating a children's book, and then we look at the topic of editing. You can get me at mgomes@gmail.com, 732-5901.